That's yours?
Yeah.
How do you do digital art? So what do you start? Do you start with...
I start with photographs, and then I repaint them on the computer with my tablet and digital pen. And then it's printed on canvas and then finished with interference paint. This one has interference paint and acrylics.
What's interference paint?
It's the kind of paint that you see at certain angles or depending how the light shines on it. So sometimes you'll see a lot of it, and sometimes if you walk by it you won't see it at all. So it kind of depends, the angle of the way it's lit. So it can change a lot in a room over the course of a day.
How much you add and change digitally to the image that you begin with?
Well, this is actually multiple images. So it kind of varies depending on the piece. Some pieces are more manipulated and more repainted than others. I tend to work with a lot of layers. So, I end up with sometimes 20 layers.
When we speak about composition and leading on the eye and how the eye really pick up on similar object and you really start to follow them, it's not art, it's gestalt. That's the way our mind functions. We start to try to find a place where we can create relationship. Look at all these white things that look like the way, like rose petals spread on the water. Whether you want it or not, your eye is going to follow that curve and take you to the center. And look at the size and the color of these things, how they are creating a pattern that is very different from the pattern that is created by what you recognize as, the leaves that are floating on the... They are not leaves. They are circles, they have geometric shape, they have an organic shape that is repeated at a certain interval. And the relationship of the positive and negative shape between these objects here is not any less important than the spacing and the intervals that exist between all these white shapes. And again, when you're really looking at all these linear motifs here, I don't see them as really glass. I'm seeing this as a different quality of line that is leading me from the center into this and going back and getting lost into the space. And when I asked about layering, because I honestly don't know much about the digital world, but one of the things that I enjoyed very much is when you're looking at the negative space, you really feel like you're looking at many, many layers like you do when you're looking at water. You have things that are closer to you, there are things that are floating on the surface, and you have things that are blurry as they go in the back. And that language, of really, I love that, because this looks like a print here. It looks like a decision or different kind of choice has been made. As if I have erased something because I changed my mind. And there is a feeling of light penetrating that hard surface, and the colors are so exquisite and good. It's a beautiful work. Thank you. Well.